Hey, good morning, everybody. As everybody knows, class was canceled today because of the snow, and as promised, this class is winterized. So you have an assignment ready to go. It's called VEcon Lab 21016, and this involves a online experiment. Then there's some questions for y'all to answer. And the quiz opens up. Let's see, I'm going to open it up tomorrow morning, and hopefully everyone will have had a chance to participate in the market experiment by tomorrow morning. And if that causes a problem for anyone, please let me know. Um, and that probably will. So we'll just worry about that as it happens. And please just try to participate in the market experiment before you start the quiz. So we're using the VEcon Lab, and there is the URL. It's veconlab.econ.virginia.edu. And when you go to that website, you see this is an experimental economics laboratory, and you are going to participate in an economics experiment. So click that box and log in. And our session name is ASU1, and submit that. Okay, so to participate, give me your first name and your last name. And you do not need a password. Let's see what it says. Apologize, my video box is smaller than my website. So maybe that'll help. And as you can tell, this video is unrehearsed. We'll figure it out. All right. So that should work. So password, this will be needed when you log in later again to resume activity. The password prevents someone else from logging in as you and making offers to buy or sell from your portfolio. So password is optional. You can complete this experiment in 30 minutes or less, and so you probably don't need to enter a password, so I'm not going to do it. So let's click continue. So my ID is 1. I did not enter a personal password, so as a password of 1 has been assigned. Okay. So now let's continue with instructions. Okay, so the overview. This is a market simulation or experiment in which you will be given some information about costs and production capacity, and then you will make production decisions. Your task is to use the cost information to make decisions that determine your earnings in this simulated market. Okay, there will be a series of market periods or rounds. The decisions that you make will determine your earnings. The computer will calculate your earnings in terms of experimental dollars. Okay, you will be a seller in the market, and you will choose a production quantity at the going market price. In each round, you will have the capacity to produce up to 3 units of a product. And as explained on the next page, each product unit that you produce and sell in a round will cost you a number of experimental dollars. Inputs used. To be able to produce and sell units in the market, you'll need 2 types of inputs. Okay, there is a fuel input cost and an emissions allowance requirement. Okay. Each additional product unit you sell in a round requires that you purchase another unit of the fuel input, as shown in the table below. Okay. For example, if you sell one product unit, the associated cost of the fuel input will be $1. If you sell a second unit, the additional cost will be $3, for a total cost of 1 plus $3 equals 4. If you sell the third unit, the cost will be $5. These costs will stay the same from one round to the next. Okay, so it's these fuel input costs, which are marginal cost, that make the supply curve upward sloping. Okay, in addition to the cost for the fuel input, a government regulation requires that you have one allowance for the emissions resulting from each product unit that you produce and sell. Emissions allowances can be bought in a market at a known price of $3. In each round, you receive 2 allowances for free. If you end up needing more, you must buy them at the going price of $3, and any unused allowances will be automatically sold on your behalf in the market at that same price at the end of each round. Okay, in each round, you'll be told the market price, and then you will then choose the number of product units you wish to sell at that price. The market price will be randomly determined to be between $1 and $10, with all amounts in that interval being equally likely. Your profit or earnings for a round is the difference between your revenues and cost. You will have costs from the purchase of inputs in each round, and revenues result from sales of units of the product and or from automatic sales of any unused allowances. And we'll get to this part in just a second. Okay, the program will keep track of your cumulative earnings. Earnings can be negative. You can have losses if revenues do not cover cost. Earnings can be positive if you make some profitable sales, or even if you do not sell any product units and end up selling the 2 allowances that you receive for free initially. Positive earnings in a round will be added, and negative earnings will be subtracted. Okay. So here's a little quiz to make sure that you understand the instructions. So please answer the questions below to ensure that you understand key aspects of the payoff structure. Remember that you have 3 capacity units, and you need to use a single emissions allowance for each capacity unit that is operated to produce a unit of output to be sold. Emissions allowance cost, $3, are the same for each of these units, but fuel input costs depend on the capacity unit being used, as shown in the table above, which is this single line table. Okay, so question 1, you have 3 capacity units, and if you end up selling fewer than 3 units of output, you incur the fuel input cost. There's 2 questions. Only for those capacity units actually used in production, or for all 3 capacity units, whether or not they're used in a given round. Then question 2, you are endowed with 2 allowances. If you produce fewer units of output, the unused allowances will be automatically banked for future use, or automatically sold for you at $3. Okay, so that second question, you need to refer back to this one phrase. Okay, let's go forward instead of backwards. Okay, I'm going to submit answers, and you have to answer the questions to be able to proceed. Okay, and then the quiz is graded, and you get the right answers before you move on. So once you answer the quiz and proceed past page 6, you can start the experiment, and I'll let y'all figure out that part by yourself. But if you have any questions about the experiment, send me an email, let me know. So once you have completed the experiment, you can go back to As You Learn and click on the quiz that will be available Thursday, February 11th. Okay, so let's preview this thing. Then there's 3 questions, 3 multiple choice questions at the beginning, and then some open-ended questions. So I'll be reading some answers, and then some more open-ended questions. I'll be reading some answers, and then some open-ended questions, and I'll be reading some answers. And just to prove that this is completely unrehearsed, I'm just going to go ahead and open up the quiz at the end of class period today, 10, let's see, 45. So if you want to take a look at the quiz before you do the experiment, that's fine. I think that will enhance learning. All right, so that's it. We have a day or two of chapter 3 to keep covering. So my guess is we'll move the exam back one day to that Monday. So next week we'll start talking about elasticity and finish up quantitative demand analysis. As suspected, yesterday I was home all day and I didn't make it into the office to work on the data sets. And my plan, as soon as I finish this video and get it uploaded and send out an email to the class, is to work on those data sets and email them to you. So if you don't get a data set by the end of today, let me know. And that probably means that I overlooked your data. And I'll send a link to the SurveyMonkey form where you'll submit your answers, and the due date for this assignment is going to be after class on Monday, so that you'll have a chance to ask questions about it. All right, so that's it. So have a good week.